So you're thinking about moving to Fort Lauderdale, but not entirely sure if it's still a good idea to do so. Well, today in this video, we're going to be talking about 5 of the worst things that you're going to have to deal with when living here in Fort Lauderdale in 2022, and we're going to dive right into it. My name's Robert. I'm a local realtor. This is my channel, Living in Fort Lauderdale. If this is your first time here, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and tap the notifications down below to be notified anytime that I go ahead and put out a new video. I put out weekly videos and content about what it's like to live, to play, and to buy real estate here throughout South Florida. But more than that, guys, I'm a local real estate agent, and what I love more than anything is to help people just like you with their real estate needs. So if you have any questions at all about any of the cities that we talk about in these videos, or need any real estate help, whether it's now or in the future, give me a call, send me a text or email, and I look forward to helping you with all your moves to South Florida. So let's dive right into today's video. All right, guys, let's dive right into it, and make sure you stick around to the end for the absolute #1 reason you might absolutely hate and the worst thing about living in Fort Lauderdale in 2022. So make sure you stick around for that. But let's start out with the first on the list, and that's got to be the construction. Now, I have never seen so much construction going on here in South Florida as I have lately. It seems like you can only drive a few blocks in any direction without passing a few different construction sites. And it's not only building sites, it's a lot of the roadways as well. Now, we have had a lot of people, a lot of influx of new people and migration to the state in the last decade. But in the last few years, we've had just, it seems like an endless amount of people moving in to the state. I think Florida just overtook Texas recently as a state with the most people moving per year for 2021, actually. And so there's just a lot of people moving in here. So if you go anytime up and down, Interstate 95, or especially during rush hour, you're in a world of hurt. Tons and tons of traffic and a lot of building sites. Seems like a lot of the building sites that I'm seeing lately are rentals, which is a totally separate topic, but there's not any space to put any people anymore. I mean, there's really no land left to build, so it seems like we're going up. And so a lot of building, a lot of construction going on. You'll definitely notice it anytime you're driving around here in South Florida. Which is going to bring us to the second worst thing on the list, and that has got to be the traffic. So we just talked about the construction, and so the traffic is really getting out of hand. And again, I have never seen it as bad as it is right now. It might not be as bad as some other states out there, but traffic, if you go on Interstate 95 going north and south, anywhere in Miami, forget about it. Interstate 595 going east and west, especially during rush hour, you are going to hit a bunch of traffic. Also, anytime going east and west, especially down by the beach, take the construction and all the people coming in, especially if it's during tourist season, and traffic is just getting out of hand. And something that you're definitely going to notice when moving here, it's not something that was really that much of a problem in the past, but, just like I said, with all the new people coming in, traffic is becoming the new norm here in South Florida. Now, along with the traffic, and something I've been trying to figure out for the last, 17 years while living here, is what is going on with the drivers here in the state of Florida. Now, definitely one of the worst things you're going to deal with is the drivers. So I don't know what it is. Maybe it's the water, maybe it's the weather, but Florida just seems to have some pretty bad drivers. Now, I always think about this sometimes when I'm out showing properties or something like that, and I'm going to neighborhoods that I might not be totally used to, or at least the streets. I'm probably a little irritating to be behind sometimes, and I wonder what people think of me driving, but I think I'm a decent driver. But some of the people out here, the way they drive is just, make you pull your hair out, and just might give you a case of road rage if you don't have it already. Now, I grew up in New York, and I also lived in Los Angeles for about 10 years, and both of those states have way worse traffic than Florida could ever have. More people, more cars on the road, more traffic, especially I used to drive down to Manhattan. to work, and a lot of cars, a lot of traffic, but I don't remember the drivers being as bad as they are over here. So people here in the state of Florida don't really obey the left lane rule that I thought was a rule, where it's a passing lane, so you don't just go sit there and drive 40 miles an hour and really not pay attention to the traffic jam that's in your wake behind you. Also, a very common thing is to have people just cruising down the road and, looking at their phones. I even see people watching videos while driving. I'm sure that's going on in other states as well. It doesn't seem like they're doing much about that in our area, as far as people texting and driving. And, I guess the new thing is watching videos while driving. But the drivers here are just pretty horrible. One of the reasons why our insurance premiums are so high, they call them high-risk drivers, along with our no-fault insurance. But the drivers here in South Florida, not very good. And one of the worst things about living here is dealing with the drivers. Now, along with the typical things that I'm going to leave out of the list, like weather and hurricanes and stuff like that, I got to touch on the critters. And the reason I got to touch on these is I'm having a battle right now with a spider, or a family of spiders that for some reason just do not like me too much. In my driveway, there's a tree that's next to my car, and for some reason they keep building a web from their tree to my car, and catches me off guard all the time. I go to get in my car and I walk right through the web. Nothing worse than being a little clammy and sweaty from the heat, which you will feel here in South Florida, and walking through a spider web. So critters has got to be on the list for me this time as well. We have fire ants, palmetto bugs, gators, as you know. We have sharks, mosquitoes. So you're definitely going to have to get used to some critters when moving here to anywhere, actually, in the state of Florida. And last but not least, guys, and most importantly, like I had mentioned at the beginning, and this covers several different things, it's got to be the prices. Now, prices for everything are up, and they're still going up. Everyone's talking about inflation. We all know about the gas prices. Grocery prices are going up, so not much different than any other place in the country, but the prices here in South Florida are just really going through the roof, especially the housing. Now, not just the housing, but the interest rates as well. Right now over 5%, and it's really causing, a little bit of a slowdown. Now, I did a video a few weeks ago and mentioned that there was not really a slowdown in mortgage applications, but that has all changed. Once we went over 5%, there has been a definite slowdown in actual mortgage applications. Now, trying to figure out why this is such a big deal to buyers, I'm thinking back to interest rates in the last few years. So I know we were at or over 5% back in 2003, but in 2019, interest rates were over 5%, and I don't remember anyone really caring at that point. It was still a very good interest rate. It is still historically low, but I think the difference is right now it's kind of like sticker shock, because going from interest rates in the 2% range and right now being over 5%, especially from 2019 to now, homes have gone up 30 to 40% combined in those 2 years, 2020 and 2021. So, a home that someone could have bought back in 2019 for $500,000 in, with an interest rate of around 2.5%, is probably about $650, and interest rates are almost double or close to double they were back in 2019. And I know a lot of people that have been holding off on purchasing. Now, I do have people that I speak to that have been waiting for years for things to change, and I wonder what they must be thinking about waiting all this time and watching the real estate market appreciate every single year, and interest rates are only climbing up. But definitely a huge topic right now, and a big concern. Now, the state of Florida has always been a state historically where the real estate prices were, I guess you would call them, fair. But right now, it doesn't seem like that's the case anymore. It's quite expensive, and it's not only people that are moving here discovering that. A lot of people that have been here for quite a while are all talking about how out of hand prices are getting, real estate prices, and add that on to everything else as far as gas and groceries and everything that's going up. Prices is an absolutely something you're going to have to deal with, and a very, very hot topic right now. And one of the worst things about moving to and living here in Fort Lauderdale in 2022 is having to deal with those prices, especially having to deal with the real estate market, or deal with it in a way of buying a home. Now, if this is something you really can't stomach, you might want to hold off on your plans on moving. Now, fortunately, most people that do move because of some sort of a family event, whether they're getting a bigger home or downsizing or a job transfer, or for a reason like that. They don't really move because of the market, whether it's a buyer's market or a seller's market. People always have to move, but you know, the pricing is getting a little bit out of hand as far as how high things are going to go. So let's see how long this lasts. I think the state of Florida beats to its own drum because we have a lot of people moving in to the state. We have a lot of businesses moving into the state, so I don't think we're going to be seeing a crash anytime soon. Maybe a little bit of a correction as far as leveling off of prices, but as far as a real estate crash, I don't see that happening. But prices and dealing with the real estate market and high interest rates is definitely something you're going to have to deal with, and one of the worst things having to deal with here in the state of Florida and in Fort Lauderdale. All right, guys, we're going to wrap it up right there. 5 worst things about living in Fort Lauderdale. Actually, I think I gave you more than 5, but hey, who's counting? I appreciate you watching the video. If you have any questions about any of the areas we talk about in the videos, or have any immediate real estate plans, or even in the future, give me a call, send me a text or an email. I look forward to talking to you, and definitely got your back when moving to South Florida. I'll catch you guys on the next video. Take care.